Hello, Ravens fans, and welcome to our recruiting class interview. I'm Aaron Schneider, Sports Information Director at Anderson University, and joining us for our men's soccer recruiting class interview is head coach Scott Fridley. How are you doing today?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, kind of break into things. A large class, 23 newcomers coming in, 21 freshmen and two sophomores. Kind of just give a feel on what your takeaway on this class is as a whole.
This class is very talented, much like the senior class that came in with 18 4 years ago. But this class is even a little bit more talented from, using both feet to, playing good programs, those kind of things. I'm very excited to see what this class can do. They are driven. They expect to win all things we want, all things we're glad to have, and all things that we look for when we're out on the road recruiting. So I'm excited for this class.
So in addition to having a large amount of talent coming in, this also with that, obviously the roster as a whole. Comes up to 40 plus, and it's a larger as a whole than what we're used to. How does having a class this size kind of change the dynamic of the team and give you a little bit more freedom in ways that you haven't had in the past?
Well, I think I just have to be a little more organized because with 42 players or whatever on the roster, it's just, it's 10 more than we're used to having, maybe 8 more than we're used to having. Always, a lot of that depends on goalkeepers, but we've had as many as 49 back in the mid-2000s. So I know how to balance it, but it is more of a challenge when you have more on the team. But I knew it was critical to bring in a big, good class because the seniors are going to be very hard to replace. And replacing them, next year we're going to be mostly freshmen, sophomores, a couple juniors, and a couple seniors. That's what it's going to be. So this was a very critical class to our future success.
All right, and then we talked about this a little bit in the season previews as well, but one of the nice luxuries is usually with a class this size, it's mostly freshmen have to come in, they have to start, and then they have to kind of find their own, kind of figure it out for themselves. But as we talked about, we have 11 seniors this year that can help the freshmen kind of show the ropes.
Yeah, that's critical. Those guys, like I said, they know what I want, they know what to expect, they know how things work. That helps the freshmen get comfortable. We got to get the freshmen comfortable.
All right, so now let's go through and talk about each of the freshman groups. First year forwards. You have 4 of them coming in, 2 sophomores, 2 freshmen. Titus Rush, transfer out of Kentucky Christian. Eli Delgado, another sophomore, and then Xander Mays, Boris Seto. Tell us about the forwards.
It's a good group. I think we have to get in a little better shape, but all 4 of them can put the ball in the net. They bring some excitement up front. It's just them understanding what our system is and what we expect, and once they get comfortable, it'll be all right. Titus actually scored on Saturday in our exhibition.
All righty. So next we'll go to the midfielders. We have 8 coming in: Marcus Almongat, Andon Cole Glazier, Wesley Lewis, Carson Reed, Alex Richwine, Jordan Ritter, Cohen Witten, and Zachary Zelke. Tell us about the midfielder group.
I think this is a talented, good group of athletes. These guys can win. Just really kind of, again, depends on their comfortability. But I think, a couple of years when they get sorted, some of them are going to get minutes this year, but getting them sorted and getting them comfortable, they'll do well for us.
And that the past few years we've had the luxury of pretty veteran defense with Drew Vaughn, Dalton Grubbs, Jackson Gilligan, and on the defensive line. So getting 8 for in this year's class is going to be a nice thing, nice reassurance and peace of mind. Once those seniors all graduate. So coming in, we've got Jack Harris, Sebastian Casey, Ashton Cuss, Ryan McClure, Isaac McGrove, Mason Nichols, Ryan Tevlin, and Luke Weinman the fifth. Tell us about our defenders.
I think 4 of those guys can fall right into place, getting minutes, getting time. But the replacement for the seniors, I think, is they'll jump right in. It is a good class of defenders. It's probably the best defensive class I've had in a while. Athletic, but they're smart and they understand. They played on good club teams, good high school teams, things like that. I'm really excited about a lot of those guys. It's going to be a good group.
All right, and then for the goalkeeping, we've our returner on the goalkeeping end, Blake Bobrow. So having some freshmen to help him out is going to be good for our depth. We've got Braxton Brewer, Braden Kennedy, and Drew Stegemuller. Tell us about our incoming goalkeepers.
Again, very happy with this group. They all 4 played well Saturday. They have a high ceiling. There's a lot of room to grow, but they are good. They're going to push Blake. With Blake being a returning sophomore, it is a good keeping class. The 4 of them can be successful, depending on tweaking the things they need to work on and things they got to get better at. But I'm excited for these keepers.
All right, and then just kind of wrap things up. What do you, as a whole, what do you see the legacy of this class to be?
I really believe this class can be the winningest class yet at Anderson. They have the potential. It's just whether they put it together.
All right, well, I think I've covered the questions I wanted to. Ravens fans, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to follow along with any more interviews like this. Follow Anderson Athletics on YouTube, and I'll give the opening to Coach Fridley, talk about our year for this year.
So expectations are high. I feel like we'll be in the tournament and compete to the end. We have a lot of freshmen that are a lot of new players that are going to give us a lot of depth, and I expect the seniors to go out on a good note.
All right, thank you for joining us, Coach Fridley.
Thanks for having me.